Hello, good people, once again. New maps for June 2025 for United States, just released. Sat103.com, United States 2025.06. Again for June 2025. But I'm going to talk about something a little different here. That yes, you can go download that. I've covered that before. I make an announcement about this whenever I do it. But okay, now this, by the way, is I believe it's a Nuvi 44. Yeah. So we've got a Nuvi 44 here. It doesn't matter what you have. Chances are, now I have also the latest 2026 maps in here from Garmin, but even if you have older maps sharing space with the new maps on a memory card, like I have the card in the back here, and that's where I have the maps installed. Something that you may run into periodically is with OpenStreetMap, sometimes you just can't find what you want. It is totally okay to switch between maps just to find a place and then switch back over to this one with the modern road data in order to navigate there. I'll show you what I mean. Now I have, well, let me just show that first. I have my map selected now. And if I go and search for an address, okay, so it found the town. 3701 El Dorado. I'm going to try that. Okay, so El Dorado. No. Close, but didn't quite get it. I think it would get it if I did it as West El Dorado. No. Okay. So I can't get it. But what I can do, let's go back. Switch. But there's a process to this. So we first switch maps, turn off one, enable the other. And again, even if you have old Garmin maps in your older Garmin navigator, this still works because addresses, generally speaking, do not change. So you could do that. So even if this was a 2012 or even a 2010 release of the old Garmin maps, yeah, the address search would still find what you're looking for, most likely. But what we have to do here, if you do the switcheroo for maps, what you should do first is always change country, and then U for United States. Then enter the state. You may or may not be prompted to enter the state, but more often than not you are. Select state, then city, and now we're ready to search for it. When you switch from OpenStreetMap over to a Garmin map, you have to kind of reset it, so to speak, just by selecting the country and then the state initially, and then the address search will work. Otherwise, it will not find stuff. So anyway, let's go ahead and search for that address now. Nope, there we go. El Dorado. Oh, it found both, West and 3. So let's try this one first. Yeah, that's showing about where it's supposed to be. Same thing? Yeah, same thing.
In 1¼ miles, turn right.
Okay. Stop. Now, what I'll do is I searched for that, found it, but now I'm going to switch over to the other map. Map info, use my maps, and now just go to recently found. Hey, there it is. Because it will store it in recent after you do the search. Get
In 1 1/4 miles, turn left.
Yeah. Let me just mute the volume. And now we are on our way. That is the whole point. So I can go to the Garmin maps, even if it was an old one. I can find the address I want, and then see, even if a business name changes, you can still search the address. That's why you do it that way. For example, you don't have the coordinates, but you do know the address. Well, you can switch back over to the Garmin map temporarily, find it, puts it in recent, and then start your route. Yeah, puts it in here, and then away you go. Because right now, yeah, I'm using just this, not this. This is disabled now. And when you do this, you do not have to reboot the unit at all. But you do have to do that thing I showed earlier, where when you switch over to the Garmin map, you have to set the country and then city and state, and then do your address search. Then you find it, puts it into recent, and then you can use this. Some people will actually prefer to use not just my maps, but OpenStreetMap, just because the road data is better. So even if you do have the latest 2026 maps at the time I record this, even if you do have that, some people will just install either my maps or another OpenStreetMap provider. They'll do it anyway because they say, well, yeah, okay, I'll use the Garmin one to find things, addresses and POIs and whatever. But when it comes to the actual navigation part, that's when you switch over to OpenStreetMap. And some people find that they just have a better time with this. And I can understand their point of view, because when you're using OpenStreetMap, especially on an old guy like this, like the Nuvi 44, if you miss a turn, this will recalculate the route faster. Not just in recalculation, but just straight up calculation. Because this was, what is this, a 2012, 2013 model? Something like that. It's over 10 years old, right? And we're dealing with maps that are over 10 years newer. The Garmin ones, which were really not designed for these. They'll work, but they're really not designed for these. But then when you put in the OpenStreetMap map stuff, which is more older model friendly, yes, it does calculate routes and recalculates routes faster. It's a reason to use it. Not true, you don't get the speed limit. It's true. But I would argue, I think it's better to have faster route calculations. That, at least to me, is the more important point. So anyway, there you go. June 2025 maps. You can get them now. Again, at sat103.com.